This is Mo Ansar. I'm recording a troll at Natalie3404, Natalie Bradshaw, who's just left me a vile message on Twitter about me sexually abusing my kids. And I'm going to ring her up now and see what she has to say about it. Hello?
Who's that?
Hello, hi. Is that Natalie?
Who's that?
I wanted to know why you've left a really vile message on Twitter.
Oh, really? Who am I speaking to, please?
My name's Mo Ansar. I'm a commentator. You've just left me.
Got my number.
You've just left me a message saying "fuck off, scum. No, you shag your kids, pedo." So I just wanted to know why you left that message. I've got 6 kids that I love very much, and
Yeah, and you fucking all shagging me. You're all the fucking same. You've got my number.
Well, look, you know, I've been working in schools and kids services, so.
What you fucking do, Islam at the end of the day is fucking scum. Islam is paedophilia. It's FGM. It's everything that's fucking wrong with the world.
But Natalie, do you not? But Natalie,
how have you got my number?
Natalie, do you not think that putting really abusive comments like that on Twitter and things that bad people do, you know, Muslims do bad things, but also Christians do bad things. Lots of people do bad things.
Yeah,
We've had all this.
We've had all this. We've had all the Christian stuff. We've had all the Catholicism stuff. We've had it all. All that religion has done persecuted patrons, etc., etc., etc. All that religion has now moved on. Islam is the only religion in the fucking world that fucking doesn't move on. It's still in the fucking 17th century, for fuck's sake.
Do you not think saying that I should?
My number?
But Natalie, you've said to me, Natalie, you said fuck off, scum. No, you shag your kids, pedo. But obviously, you've called me a paedophile, and why would you say such? But why would you say that?
Islam condones paedophilia.
No, but it doesn't. It's
fucking deny Islam does not condone paedophilia.
Natalie, abusing children is completely illegal in Islam, completely unlawful.
Yes. Under your fucking Quran, it's lawful. You can marry at 6 years of age.
Natalie, no, you can't.
You can't actually have sex with them until they're 9 years of age.
Natalie, just to let you know,
bugger a child from up to 6 months. You can actually bugger a child from that.
Natalie, you're not allowed to marry a child at all. You can only marry an adult, only if they're consenting. There are different...
What the fuck are you talking to me for? Do you really think I'm going to convert to Islam?
No, I'm not interested in you. I'm just interested to know why you would leave me an abusive message like that on Twitter.
Because that's what you are. That's what Islam is.
Yeah, you think Islam condones paedophilia, but I'm not a paedophile.
I fucking don't think I know. And how have you got my number?
But Natalie, but you've called me a paedophile on Twitter. Why would you do that?
How have you got my number, cunt?
Natalie, that's disgusting language. You don't have to. Natalie, you don't have to leave that kind of abusive messages, do you?
How have you got my number?
Natalie, you don't need to leave an abusive message. Well, actually, you've posted your number on Twitter.
No, I didn't, actually. I know I didn't.
No, you have. If you scroll down in your timeline, you've put your phone number there, Natalie.
No, I didn't, actually. And I know that.
Natalie, you put here, you tweeted at Claire at Can, your phone number with a little kiss.
What are you ringing me for?
I'd like to know why you've left me an abusive message on Twitter. I'd like to know what your problem is.
What Islam is?
Natalie, do you teach your kids about this kind of stuff? Do you teach your kids that, you know, Islam is an evil thing and you should go around abusing innocent Muslims who haven't done anything wrong?
Absolutely I do, yeah.
You teach your kids that?
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose in your workplace, if you came across a Muslim, you'd be discriminating against them, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, I would, yeah.
Are you genuinely serious, or are you kidding? You would mistreat Muslims because you hate Islam?
I hate Islam, and Islam has no part in this fucking country. End of story.
You would attack Muslims who haven't done anything wrong because you hate Islam?
I'm not attacking Muslims.
But
No, you listen to me. What I'm saying, right, you can believe, everybody has a free choice to believe in what they believe in.
I agree with that, absolutely.
Is that a Christian, Buddhist, Catholic, whatever. You believe in what you believe. No problem with that at all. Not an issue with it. It's not about religion. It's about Islam coming into this country, building fucking mosques and trying to say to me, this is how I should live my life because of your book, because of your Quran. Well, sorry, no. That's your book, that's your Quran, that's your belief. You believe in it, happy. You get on and you believe in it.
Natalie, who's stopping you live as you want?
Therefore, I should not be persecuted for not choosing to believe in Islam.
Right.
Neither should anybody else.
Natalie, who's persecuting you for not being a Muslim?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you said you're being persecuted for not being a Muslim. Who's persecuting you?
The fucking government persecutes us daily for not being a Muslim.
The government persecutes everybody for not being Muslim.
That's how it works.
How are they persecuting you for not being Muslim?
That's how it works.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I mean, if you're right,
how have you got halal right in this country? Right? Why have you got halal slaughterhouses in this country? First of all, halal is barbaric. It's cruel. It's disgusting. From an animal welfare point of view, it's fucking disgusting. Right? Now, you don't even have to eat halal meat. In the Quran, Allah said you could take meat from the Jews and you could eat meat from the Jews as long as you blessed it as in Allah's name. So why have we got halal? Because you're infiltrating the country, because you're terrorism all the fucking time.
We've infiltrated the country and it's terrorism that's causing it.
You know it is.
Just out of interest, we slaughter in this country, and this is...
Why are you ringing me? Why are you speaking to me?
Because I want to talk to you. I want to find out why you're leaving me abusive messages on Twitter, why you're trolling me.
I'm not fucking trolling you. I haven't got fucking time to troll you, sweetheart.
Well, you left me some messages this evening. You said, fuck off, scum, no, you shag your kids, pedo. You left me another one saying, you fool, you really are a fool, jog on muppet. And I phoned you to find out why you're leaving these messages. And you're saying because Islam is evil, and that we've infiltrated the country, and that there's halal meat everywhere, and that you're being persecuted because of Islam.
Yeah.
So, again, how are you being persecuted because of Islam?
Because every time I have to go into the supermarket, I have to look at fucking food stuff. Because I don't want to eat halal, because I don't fucking agree with it. I don't agree with it because it's fucking not, because it's Islam. I don't agree with it because it's fucking barbaric. And there is no need in this fucking society for that type of slaughter. So I don't want to go into my supermarket and have to look at all my brands of fucking food to make sure it's not fucking halal. I don't want halal. I don't want it. This country is not halal. This country is Christian.
Right. Firstly, you don't. But Natalie, you don't. You don't have to buy halal, do you?
Anybody can fucking live in this country. They can do what they want to. They can worship what they want to.
Absolutely. But nobody's forcing you to eat halal or buy halal.
Moon God. In Islam, you're not allowed to worship an idol.
Correct.
Why the fuck then, if you've got a fucking black stone in fucking Mecca that you're fucking worship? It's a fucking stone.
Natalie, nobody worships. Natalie, you're going to have to trust me on one thing. I know a bit more about Islam than you do, and nobody worships that stone.
No, sweetheart, no.
Natalie, in Islam you worship one God. Natalie, listen, firstly.
You know, you're not even, I'm not even speaking to you about it. I know what I know, and I want to know what I know.
Natalie, why do you hate Muslims so much, Natalie? Why do you hate Muslims so much?
I don't hate Muslims.
Well, you've left me offensive messages because you hate Islam.
Muslims. What I'm saying is, by all means, fine, live in this country.
Yeah.
But don't fucking push your ways onto us.
Who's pushing their ways onto you? I don't understand how that's happening, Natalie.
Are you going to Rotherham?
Am I going to Rotherham?
Yeah.
I've been to Rotherham.
Are you going to Rotherham?
Am I going to Rotherham?
March on Rotherham.
Are you going to the EDL March in Rotherham?
Yeah, I am.
So you're an EDL supporter then? I mean, you know who I am, obviously, because I've worked with the EDL.
You should work with fucking EDL, so what's the point?
I spent 18 months with the EDL. I spent 18 months with the EDL. With Tommy.
Oh, yeah, with fucking Tommy Tessage, yeah, whatever.
But Natalie, nobody's forcing you to eat halal. If Muslims want to eat halal and Jews want to eat kosher, what does it matter?
I'm not talking to you because you're fucking brain dead anyway. You're fucking brainwashed and brain dead the minute you fucking pick the fucking Quran up.
Natalie, listen.
That fucking Beano shit.
Natalie.
Nothing to do with... Get off with it. Not a problem. Live in this live by our laws, by our culture, fine.
Natalie, just a couple of things before we finish, right? You know, there's a billion animals slaughtered every year.
How to live in my country, and don't tell
Natalie, is this my country as well? Natalie, is it my country as well? I was born here. Is it my country as well? My granddad fought in World War II. Is it my country?
A fucking dog's born in a stable, sweetheart. Doesn't make it a fucking horse.
Am I British, Natalie?
Get where I'm coming from.
Natalie, am I British or English?
Sharia law will never ever be allowed in this country. You will never ever take on monarchy. Ever.
Natalie, am I British? Do you consider me British or English?
I'll tell you what, tell Anjan, when he hears his fucking tick, tick, tick.
Natalie, I can't stand him. Natalie, I can't stand Anjan Chowdhury. I've argued with him before on the BBC, and I've told him what I think of him. I can't stand the bloke.
Bollocks.
What do you mean bollocks? I don't understand.
Bollocks, why were you at your side on Friday then?
I don't know him. I've never met him. I've spoken to him on the radio. I'm not Anjan Chowdhury. I've never been with him. Never been with his groups. Natalie, Muslim extremists have put death threats on me, which was on the television. They've reported it in The Guardian. I mean, they put death threats on me.
Don't you think I have fucking death threats every fucking day of fucking Muslims? All the fucking...
You get death threats. Do you report them to the police?
Death threats? Of course I report them to fucking police.
Well, that's very serious. You need to report them to the police. What I want...
I fucking have to. What do the police do?
But,
fuck all about it.
But Natalie, why do you think I'm...
Because I'm fucking white, British. That's why they do nothing about it.
Natalie, my wife is white. I've got white British daughter-in-law. I'm British myself. The question is, look, I'm a Muslim. I was born here. I'm British. I'm English. Am I entitled to live free as I want to live?
Yes.
Okay, as an Englishman, as a British man, am I allowed to eat halal if I want to eat halal?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm saying to you, as a Muslim, I'm saying to you, you live free as you want. I'll live free as I want. And is that not fair?
No, what I'm saying, right, in this country, we don't take halal. In this country, we have laws about animal abuse. We have laws about it.
Natalie, do you know that listen, 850 million animals every year are slaughtered in this country, right, Natalie? So many of them are tortured and brutally killed. Do you know in this country, this is non-halal meat, right? You can have 6 or 7 pigs in a pen, all squealing, and they are tortured and electrocuted to death while the others are watching. We have conveyor belts of chicken upside down, shackled, with the heads being dipped in baths. We've got hundreds of millions of animals each year in this country which are brutally and inhumanely slaughtered. Cows bolted in the head 4 or 5 times and dismembered alive. Now, these are nothing to do with halal and kosher. Halal and kosher is a tiny little proportion, and there are problems, but professional halal and kosher is really, really humane. Our meat industry in this country is totally corrupt. We've got rapists and murderers who work in slaughterhouses, right?
I know that.
Right, so when our meat industry in this country, slaughtering 1 billion animals a year, is so horrifically corrupt, why are you focusing on halal and meat, which is a tiny, tiny slice of the overall picture and is actually quite humane?
No, because halal is not humane. Halal is barbaric, it's disgusting, it's evil, it funds terrorism. That's why it should not be allowed in the country. But hey, no worries, because the RSPCA get 5 million a year off the fucking Muslim Brotherhood. So the RSPCA keep the fucking heads down because they want the funding sorted and they're happy. Not anymore.
I'm not sure the RSPCA do get funding off the Muslim Brotherhood, but okay. But whether or not that's the case, do you not think it's wrong to tell your children that all Muslims are bad and Islam is an evil thing and that, you know, we're terrorists?
No, because I don't want my kids growing up anywhere near anything that is fucking Islam, because Islam is fucking evil.
What is it about that Islam that you find so offensive? Just give me one thing, just one thing.
One thing? Oh, fucking hell.
Well, it's easier to talk one thing at a time, then we can talk reasonably, can't we?
FGM.
Okay, can I stop you just 1 sec? FGM, all the research shows FGM is committed by non-Muslims and Christians and tribal groups in Africa. It's not an Islamic thing. Everybody says, from the government to all the researchers, FGM is done by lots of different tribal groups in that North African region. It's nothing to do with Islam.
So, okay then. So it's nothing to do with Islam, right?
Right, it's to do with tribes and ethnicities.
So you're saying to me FGM is not a problem in this country?
No, I'm saying it's a disgusting thing and it should be stopped, but it's not Islamic. There's nothing, no part of it is Islamic. The person who is leading, the person who's leading the campaign against FGM is a Muslim girl.
200
Can I just ask where you got that figure from? 260,000.
Hello?
Yeah, Natalie, where'd you get that figure from? 260,000.
Because I work in the NHS.
Right, you work in the NHS and you believe that there are 260,000 girls going through each year. But all the government research, all of the polling tells us that FGM is not a Muslim issue.
Yeah. Oh, do you really think I'm that stupid? Because Cameron won't reveal it. The media won't reveal it. Why won't they reveal it? Because they don't want an English uproar. They don't want that because all the fucking Muslims will vote for Cameron and his party, so they'll all get in. Hello?
So you believe there's a government conspiracy?
That's why it isn't there.
You believe there's a government... Well, look, okay, we'll deal with that one issue. So we can agree to differ. You think FGM is all Muslims, and I'm telling you that if you look at the North African region, actually, yes, FGM is committed in those African countries, but by lots of people, not just Muslims, non-Muslims, and also millions and millions of Christians as well. So it's nothing to do... Islam forbids that kind of behaviour, mutilation, harming children, abusing children. It's got nothing to do with Islam, right? But do me a favour, tell me one other thing that you're really upset about Muslims.
Okay, then Christmas Day.
Okay.
Why did I get jumped by a load of fucking Muslim taxi drivers?
Well, that do you know what? If that's happened, that is terrible. That should be reported to the police.
Why did I get fucking beat up?
Well, that's awful. Did you report it to the police?
Yeah, I did report it to the police.
Okay, and hopefully they took action.
No. No. Because at the end of the day, it's my word against theirs, and that's the case.
But do you know what? I came up to Darwin, right, near Blackburn, and I met with the mothers of some girls who had been abused by some of these grooming gangs who were from Muslim communities, and some of them were supporters of the EDL, and they were really, really angry, and they were really, really upset. But in this country, I tried explaining to them that kind of behaviour has got nothing to do with Islam. If you follow Islam, it's forbidden for you to even go near, let alone look at, somebody who you're not married to. It's meant to be eyes down from Muslim.
I'm not being funny, but read the fucking... I shouldn't be telling you. Read the Quran. The Quran actually says you can sexually have a girl as soon as she has a period.
It doesn't, honestly, it really doesn't say that. It says that to be married in Islam, okay, firstly, you can only have sex with someone you're married to, right, an adult, and the only recommended relationships are male, female, married. You cannot have sex with somebody you're not married to. You cannot have sex with a child. The only person who can give consent to be married is an adult. So technically you can't even marry a child because she's not an adult and can't give consent. There is almost a quadruple lock on making sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen. But while you're saying that, in Spain, in Vatican City, in European countries, you can marry and have sex with children as young as 13. So what do we say about that?
I'm not saying it's right.
Right, but you're attacking listen, you're attacking Islam, which forbids it. But in European and Western countries, I mean,
okay, a woman in Islam is raped, but to prove that rape, she's got to have 4 witnesses. Well, I don't say there are 4 witnesses. I say there are 4 accomplices. Because if a woman's raped, she's raped. And then if she is found guilty in Islam of being raped, she's then fucking stoned or sent to prison. Hello?
Right, but Natalie, these are things that Muslims do, not what Islam says. This has nothing to do with Islam. Natalie, you know, in this country, there are around 200 women raped every single day and 60 kids. Every single day. Every single day. That's not to do with Islam. That is within the non-Muslim British communities. Absolutely nothing to do with Islam, right? We have got thousands and thousands of kids every year in this country who are brutalised, abused, raped, and live in fear and live in silence. And this goes on every single day up and down the country, from Portsmouth to Penzance to John O'Groats, everywhere. So why not focus on the big problem?
Yeah, but the difference is, when we find the fuckers, we prosecute them.
But Natalie, sexual abuse and rape affects all communities in this country. It doesn't,
yeah, it does.
And all communities are responsible for tackling with it.
Islam condones it. In Islam, it's okay.
All right, we'll agree to differ. Right. Islam makes it absolutely forbidden. You are not even allowed to look at a woman who is dressed immodestly in Islam. If I'm walking down the street and I see somebody who's, dressed, skimpily dressed, I'm, as a Muslim, meant to look away, right? I'm not even meant to look at her, let alone go near her and touch her.
So then what you're actually saying, then, is you as a male, can't look at a woman and have sexual thoughts, because that's wrong.
No, I shouldn't do. I shouldn't treat women like sexual objects. In Islam,
That's human.
I understand, Natalie, but you're arguing. But on the one hand, you're arguing that it's okay to objectify and sexualise women. This is what people call pornification of society. And at the same time, you're saying that Islam is responsible for rape and condones rape. Well, Islam, honestly, Natalie, you'll have to trust me. I'm a bit more of an expert on Islam than you are. Islam does not allow for rape or abuse of kids. It doesn't allow for that. It really doesn't.
So it's okay then. You can't look at a woman, you can't do anything, you can't even be another woman. That's ridiculous, because actually what that's saying, what it's saying is actually you as men can't see a woman in a bikini, for example.
Who says we should look away?
Fucking rape her.
Natalie, if I go down to the beach and there are women in bikinis, of course I'm not going to rape them. That's absurd. To be modest and to not sexualise those women and to control my own feelings, I should look away and stay away from temptation.
You believe, and I firmly believe, that everybody has the right and the privilege to believe in whatever religion, sect, or whatever they want.
And Natalie, I agree with you. Natalie, I agree with you. Like, Natalie, I agree with you. Natalie,
I don't want Islam. I'm not fucking wearing a burqa. Fuck off.
You don't have to. Nobody's asking you to. Who's asking to wear burqa?
And again, a burqa. That's not even part.
No, but Natalie, who's asking you to wear a face veil? Natalie.
Nobody.
Right. So why is that a criticism?
Why ask me to wear a fucking face veil? Nobody.
Right.
But again, that's not part of your religion.
No. Well, if women want to wear a veil to express their faith, they should be allowed to. Natalie, why don't you let Muslims live as they want? Natalie, why can't Muslims live as they want?
They can live as they want. Absolutely fine. Live as they want to.
Right. So you want a tolerant society.
No, but don't try and enforce your beliefs on others that are clearly you don't want it.
Natalie, who's enforcing their beliefs on you? Natalie, who's enforcing? Natalie, you know the Jews that live in Manchester and put a wire around their area, right? On Shabbat, on Friday evening after sunset, because they want to live in a secluded way. Do you also launch these kind of attacks on Jews as well?
You know, what I'm saying is, don't live in this country, whether you're born here or not, and expect us to take on your beliefs, because we won't do it.
Natalie, who's asking you to take on my beliefs? Nobody is. I'm not.
Everybody.
Who? Everybody who?
Fucking government. Everybody. Islam's wonderful. No, Islam isn't.
Natalie, nobody's asking. Natalie, honestly, I promise you, nobody's asking you.
My opinion of Islam is shit.
Okay. Natalie.
That's up to you. You believe in that. I choose not to, and I have the right to choose not to believe in that.
I uphold that right. In the Quran, God says to us that La ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion in religion and belief. People can live as they want. People are free to live as they want. When Islam spread across Europe, right, 1,000 years ago, in British society, in English society, in the West, there was an intolerant Christianity that was forcing people to convert at the point of a sword almost, right? And if you didn't believe, then you'd be for the chop. And if you said anything against the church, that was a problem. It was the interaction with Muslims that created the idea of humanism, that people can live tolerantly outside of Christianity, and Christians in the West should be tolerant of other religions and beliefs. They'd almost wiped out Judaism in Christian Europe by the 8th century. 100 years after Islam began to spread, the Jews flourished, they were supported and they were respected. My wife's family are Lutheran Christians. My daughter-in-law is a Catholic. I am the nephew of Sikhs. I am about as multicultural and plural and tolerant as anybody, and I'm a Muslim. Because Islam says you've got to respect and honour other people in their faiths. You've got to allow people to live freely. You can't harm people. You can't push your face on them.
On Friday.
I don't know him. I've never met him in my life.
Were you there with him on Friday?
No, I wasn't. Who told you that? I wasn't there. I was with my family. I've actually got pictures taken with my family outside the mosque in Hampshire where we live. I think that you're talking about something that happened in London, and I wasn't there. Who said I was with Anjum? Because I've never been there.
Oh, your pictures with him?
No, honestly, Natalie, I promise you, if you look at the pictures, you can actually look at my tweets from Friday, and it will say that I'm in Hampshire. I've gone to the mosque with my family. I'm pretty sure I've said something like that, but I certainly wasn't in London. I've never met Anjem in my life. I've debated with him on the radio. I've condemned him for his actions. I've always spoken out against extremism. I've always spoken out against his extremism. After the Woolwich killing, I came onto national and international television in the morning to condemn extremism, and Al-Shabaab put a death threat on me because of it. And that was reported on Sky News, on BBC News. So they want me dead because I condemn the killing of Lee Rigby. They want me dead because I stand against extremism. I hate the stuff that Anjem Choudary does. I don't agree with it at all. I've always condemned it. That's why I don't understand why you'd come onto Twitter and say, fuck off, scum, you shag your kids, pedo.
I'm sorry then. I apologise for that, because I thought you were on them instead of God.
No, I don't know anything. I'm nothing to do with them. I completely dislike and I'm against what they do.
I apologise for it.
Okay, well that's okay. That's okay. I said that, but Natalie, what I would say is, look, when you look at someone's picture on Twitter and you see a beard and you can see they're Muslim, right? No, honestly, that's impossible because I've never seen him. I've never actually met him. I don't know him. I've always spoken against him. I'm nothing to do with him or his group. I'm a political and social commentator. I talk on the telly and radio. I stand against extremism. I work with churches and interfaith organisations, and I work in education and equalities and diversity. I try working for a peaceful society. I've never ever been an extremist. I don't work with extremists. I don't like extremists. I always speak against them. Natalie, I'd be more than happy to work with you. I'm happy to work with anybody who wants to work for a better society, but I spent 18 months with the EDL trying to get Tommy Robinson out. I spent 18 months meeting members of the EDL, listening to what they have to say. And I don't think hate is the way. I think we have to be tolerant and peaceful, Natalie. And abusing people and creating an intolerant society just creates more hate and more enemies, and that's not the way we want to go, is it?
Yeah, but do you also think that the media does that?
Look, do you know what? I would agree with you on that. I think the media
doesn't tell you nothing. It tells you what it wants you to hear.
Natalie, do you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, okay? The media does a lot of nasty, evil things. The way they portray Islam. You know, there was a news report out the other day of a Muslim guy. You know, like the kind of guys you see with a big white skirt, a big white dress and a hat, right? And a beard. And you'd look at him and think, oh, typical kind of radical or whatever. Well, he was on the bus and someone was on the train and someone didn't have a pair of shoes. He took off his shoes and gave them to him and he walked home in the rain. Now, that went across the world. And I thought, do you know what? People never hear about an Islam that is tolerant and is respectful, an Islam that loves children, forbids any kind of wrongdoing, forbids any kind of extremism. The Prophet himself cursed people who were at extremes and who were extremists. He curses them. The Prophet of Islam curses extremists.
Yeah, but it's just tacky.
Sorry?
Are you speaking to me through tacky?
Am I speaking to you?
Through tacky. You lie to infidels.
Do you know what? I've heard that term, but it's not something Muslims are forbidden from lying. So, I guess let's put it this way:
no,
if
it's in the Quran.
No, Natalie. Do you know what we're talking about? You know, if somebody, God forbid, came up to me or you and held a gun to our head and said, "You say such and such, or I'm going to kill you," under that kind of coercion, under that compulsion, pretty much anyone can say anything. I think, right? If that concept exists at all, and I don't know any of it, and I've spoken to Muslim scholars who don't recognise it, right? That is to do with that, but that's recognised in non-Muslim society. There's no such thing as taqiyya. This is something that people who hate Muslims and Islam and are against Islam have peddled and created to try, so that any time a Muslim does something good or says something nice, people go against them. You know, every year in this country, about 5,000 women convert to Islam. It's the fastest growing religion in the country. And I can understand why white British non-Muslims are anxious about that. I get it. But 80% of Muslims...
I will never fucking be Muslim, ever.
And that's okay. That's great. I mean, I've got loads of non-Muslims in my family. I love them. We love each other. There's no problem with that. Let people be free to follow what they want. But we can't create a better society by peddling hate. We can't create a better society by hating each other and abusing each other. I mean, I don't know if you've got kids, but I've got kids, and we want them to grow up in a better society where we're not at each other's throats, surely, where we're not attacking each other, we're not swearing and abusing each other. That's only going to happen if we stop listening to the hateful voices and listen to the truth. And if every time a Muslim says something good, we're accused of it being taqiyya, that's rubbish. That's not fair. That's like saying every time Natalie does something good, she's only doing it because someone put some money in her pocket. That's unfair. That's not right to say that.
But that's in your fucking Quran. Lie life to infidels.
It really, honest, Natalie, I promise you, it really, really isn't. I don't do it. My wife doesn't do it. None of my kids do it. Nobody I know does it, all right? None of the mosques I've ever been to have I heard promoting it or talking about it. I've never heard a Muslim leader. I've been working in communities for years and years now. I've never, ever heard behind closed doors or in the public space anyone ever talk about this. All I've ever heard is a call for Muslims to live good lives, to be good members of British society and work for the public good. No matter who you are. No matter who you are, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. Somebody was asking me early this evening about whether Muslims would have allowed food banks to exist. And I said to that person that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, feed the hungry, visit a sick person, and free the captive if he is unjustly confined, and assist any person who's oppressed, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. Whether non-Muslim or non-Muslim. So the Prophet Muhammad says, doesn't matter where they're from or who they are, doesn't matter what they believe in, you've got to help them if they need help. You cannot discriminate, you cannot mistreat people. Now, as a Muslim, that's what I believe in, and I think that's a good thing, surely.
It is, but look, there we go, Syria again. Another fucking war on the news needn't be there.
I know, but who, you know...
All these fucking extremists from the UK going to fucking Syria. Sorry, but no.
I know, but you know the problem is we have Muslims here in this country who are frustrated. 80% of them live on or below the poverty line, right? And they face massive discrimination in society. Now, the problem is, Natalie, that with all of this stuff going on, we see on our screens every day all of these poor kids who are dying and being slaughtered, children in their beds who have done nothing wrong are being tortured and killed.
That's what the media wants you to fucking listen to. That's what... To the fucking mosque on the news now, that's what the media wants you to listen to. That's what the media allows you to know. I don't look at the media. I've worked in it. I don't look at it.
Natalie, I think we're in agreement. The biggest problem we've got is people who try and divide us in society and get one group fighting with another group. Is the politicians, because of course they need to get the vote. So this week they'll start saying Britain is a Christian country, even though we know there's loads of... It may well be predominantly Christian, but we know there are atheists, we know there are different religions. So why not say we're a multi-religious society and everyone is tolerant and respectful? Instead of making Christians against other religions, or if it's gay marriage, you know, we can have gay people against religious people, we have poor people against rich people. We've got more working poor people in this country. The majority of people who've got food banks, they work for a living, they work hard, and at the end of the week they haven't got 2 pennies to rub together. And they have to go to the food bank and beg for food in one of the richest economies in the world. So this is about the politicians, this is about foreign policy, this is about the media. Honestly, Natalie, this is not about Muslims who are your neighbours. The Prophet Muhammad said he is not a believer, anyone who fills his stomach while his neighbour is hungry. And one of the people around him said, okay, well, who's your neighbour? And the Prophet said, anyone who lives within 40 houses of you. If anyone within 40 houses of you, 40 houses, is hungry and you go to sleep on a full stomach, then you're not a believer, he said. Now, we would never ever have this political situation. We would never ever have people going to food banks in this day and age if we applied some of those rules. Now, I'm not saying that Islam has all the answers, but I'm saying it's a force for good. But there are so many people who hate Muslims. There are so many people who hate black people and Asians and European migrants who are coming to this country. And because of all of that hate, they are focusing that on Islam. And you know what, Natalie? Islam is a good thing if done properly. But you can't judge Islam by Muslims who do terrible things. You can't judge Christianity by Christians who do terrible things.
No. Like I said to you, all religions have done atrocities. We've all done it in the past, all of them.
But Natalie, can we say people who belong to religions, not religions? Because if Tony Blair says he's a Christian, if Tony Blair says he's a Christian and he kills 2 million people in Iraq, or is responsible for the deaths of...
I don't agree with Iraq at all.
But it wasn't Christianity there, did it? Was it? It was Bush and Blair.
Yeah.
But they say they're both Christians. So what I'm saying is, if Christians do evil things, I can't attack Christianity. I can say those people are wrong, but it's not right to attack Christianity. That's one of the things I say. Look, you don't judge Christianity by the actions of Christians, and also don't judge Islam by the actions of some Muslims.
Well, I'm off to stroke my dogs.
All right, Natalie, it's been lovely talking to you tonight. I hope you don't mind me ringing you. I know it is out of the blue, but I thought what you said was a bit out of line, to be honest. And, you know, I love my kids.
Well, I just thought you were Angam's bodyguard, so that's why you got it. I'm sorry for that. You obviously are.
That's all right. Okay, nice talking to you, Natalie. Peace be with you.
All right,
Bye.